What if, as a possibility, you could dissolve limiting beliefs on command the moment that you choose? What possibilities would unlock in your life if you no longer felt and believed that you're not enough, not worthy, not capable, not deserving to create the life of your dreams? We're going to explore this possibility in this video, and I'm going to directly teach you and give you what might actually truly be the most advanced and effective and simple form of belief alchemy, belief dissolving magic that you've ever seen in your entire life. I trust and believe that this will change your life if you choose to apply it. And we're going to dive straight into the core concepts and definitions in just a moment. But first, I'd like to introduce myself and say, hello, friend. My name is Gladius, and that is my chosen name. I chose this name back in 2022. And Gladius means sword in Latin. The sword has the same etymological root, obviously, as gladiator, the sword bearer, but the sword cuts through lies, deception, and manipulation with love and light. And this is the embodiment that I chose to create and the persona that I chose to experience and craft for myself using many of these advanced belief alchemy and belief magic tools. And since learning how to dissolve belief structures that cause pain and suffering out of my mind, I've completely dedicated my life at sovereignmind.org to training spiritually awake entrepreneurs how to use this technology and this understanding of metaphysics that dissolves key constraints, limiting beliefs, old identity structures that were created in childhood in order to stay safe, that are presently getting in the way of us living presently, and for that matter, thriving and succeeding in business, having healthy and fulfilling relationships, and all of these things. Since I've dedicated my life to helping other people achieve these results, it's occurred to me as extremely obvious that I should be giving this information to the world as openly, as freely as possible, so that the right people are naturally incentivized and desirous to raise their hands and work with me and train in a deeper way. So let's go ahead and get this key understanding for you in place. And with this key understanding, all of this shit is going to make a lot more sense. And the key understanding is this, my friend. You have complete free will to choose your beliefs. Every belief is not some mystical force that just keeps happening and I don't know why, and oh my god, I'm stuck feeling like I'm not enough, and no matter how many times I affirm to the contrary, I am enough, I still feel like I'm not enough, and it shows up in all of my relationships and my business, and I fucking hate it, and I don't know what to do about it. Take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be that way. Truly. What you can do now is this. Oh, a belief structure. I'm not enough. It's got about a 7 out of 10 charge. It's linked into some of my head, sadness. It's linked into my chest and heart, emotions and sensations of grief, sadness, and fear. Oh, okay, here's that not enough belief structure. I undefine all definitions of being not enough. Oh, that's better. I disidentify all identities of being not enough. Whew, that's better. Wow. I am compassion for all ideas of being not enough. Good. I forgive myself completely for creating and believing that I am not enough. Cool. Problem solved. Don't believe me? Well, that's fine. You can take a look at the success stories on my website some other time. In the meantime, for anyone who is ready and open to accept that is a possibility that you can, through communion with your higher self, your true self, make the free will decision through spoken commands to permanently dissolve belief structures, this video is for you, and I will now proceed with the transmission. So, let's begin. There are 4 key intentions to the present version manifestation of what I call the sovereign mind method. The Sovereign Mind method is what empowers spiritually awake entrepreneurs like you to permanently dissolve belief and identity structures that no longer serve them so that you can create the life and the results that you want. I've written a book on the Sovereign Mind method. I've created courses on the Sovereign Mind method. I've run training programs on the Sovereign Mind method. You can check us out on our website or go to school. For the purpose of this video, we're going to define what each of these key intentions actually means, and we're going to give you a direct experience of dissolving a belief that you're ready to let go of, that you truly want to let go of. And at the end of this video, you will no longer feel that way for the rest of your life. That's my intent. Let's see what happens. So, the first key command that I want you to understand has to do with definitions. You might notice that a belief like I am not enough actually is made of two key structures. First of all, I am is identification. If you believe and you feel I am not enough, that's because you've identified yourself with that belief. You have taken your sense of identity, your sense of self, and you have wrapped it around and merged it with a definition. This is just a definition. Enough is a definition. Enough is a concept. And not enough is just the inverse of that definition. So what you've effectively done is you've spellbound yourself. You've identified yourself with a limiting definition. And this is why, as an infinitely powerful creative being, the belief I am not enough is so painfully contracted. It's because there's an illusory concept, a definition of not enough, and you've gone, I am that. I am not enough. And then there's this structure of pain and self-torture that's wrapped around your head at all times without exception, because it's a belief, and the belief is just there, and we're walking around in life going, why is life hard? Fuck, I'm not enough. Why can't I see clearly? Fuck, I'm not enough. But when you undefine the definition of not enough, here's what happens energetically. You say the words out loud, I undefine all definitions of being not enough. Oh. Huh. Do you notice the energetic shift of saying that? Can't you feel energy actually freeing and clearing in your physical body after saying that? I undefine all definitions of being not enough. You might notice in the fine print that I use slightly different spelling. Can explain that another day. You can also just screen cap what you see here. Ta-da! The point is, when you undefine the definitions, what you're not actually doing is looking up in a dictionary and saying, I cross out that word, I cross out that word, I cross out that word. That's not what we mean. Every single one of your definitions is experiential. Every definition points towards a tangible experience. Beyond all words and language and concepts, experience is the true nature of your reality. You're having an experience, and that experience is continuous until you stop having experience. And we put all kinds of words and labels on what different parts and aspects and limited fragments of the experience are. And it's the art and the act of defining an experience that gives the experience meaning. So when you say, I undefine all definitions of being not enough, here's what's tangibly happening. Your higher mind, your higher self, is intending that all of the meaning that you have bound up in what you saw as not enough, in what you heard as not enough, in what you felt as not enough, all of your multi-sensory experiences of not enough, you're removing the intent, the meaning not enough from all of those experiences. So that nothing to you is actually definable as not enough. That's just an illusion. There's no experiential definition. It's the experiential definition that you're undefining. And again, the command is, I undefine all definitions tied to not enough. That's step one. You've undefined the definitions. Now, this thing doesn't really fucking mean anything to you. This idea of not enough. It's a meaningless concept, but the identification with it may still cause you some suffering. Because you see, whatever you wrap your sense of identity around actually energetically comes into your field, into your aura, or in different traditions, your etheric body, your emotional body. There is a structure of intent and energy that is bound up in the act of identification, and you have now contracted your life force energy, your love, your light, into this misidentification with the word spell, the concept of not enough. And we're just going to proceed with not enough. You can do it with not worthy, not deserving, not capable, not important. Pick whatever belief you want to let go of and you're truly ready to let go of. But for the purpose of this video, not enough's what's on the board, so we're going to roll with that. So, all that to be said, I disidentify all identities tied to not enough. I disidentify all identities tied to not enough. If you will, say those words out loud and notice what is your experience. I disidentify all identities tied to not enough. What did you notice? Was there a shift there? Oh, a little energy release. That feels good, doesn't it? It feels good to disidentify with illusory identities that were unconsciously created from your past based on trauma. More of that, please. So, what this is doing energetically is it's breaking apart that pattern of intent and energy that's wrapped up in the identification, dissolving it out of your experience. That energy then is free to leave your field of awareness and or return to you as your power to create what you desire, what you intend. So that's the second part. And these two intentions alone can completely dissolve a belief structure. But it was through great fortune that I've had many excellent metaphysical teachers. We reach compassion, which I learned about this idea from Edward Mannix. We learn about forgiveness, which I originally learned about this idea from Steve Hardison. And we can talk about what each of these intentions mean too. When you combine compassion and forgiveness to the same spell that you've undefined and disidentified yourself from, you cleanse that energy at an entirely different level of experience. This is all of your lived experience. All of the definitions, all of the identifications that you've made in this lifetime come from this lifetime. By definition, you had to have cognition and a mind in order to do these things. However, there exists a possibility of past lives. Reincarnation, karma. I don't know what to believe about any of that, but what I do know tangibly from my direct experience and sharing this with other people is that there seems to be some true magic in compassion and forgiveness that cleanses the structure of intent and energy of this belief of not enough. It cleanses that energy at another level of your experience. So, here's what I mean. You can say to yourself out loud, I am compassion for all ideas that I am not enough. I am compassion for all ideas that I am not enough. And what this is doing is this is connecting you to your higher mind, your true self, and radiating infinite compassion from source God oneness directly into the structure of intent. I am not enough, not just in your mind, but in the collective mind. This is a collective karmic clearing process and technology. And so when you say these words out loud, I am compassion for all ideas that I am not enough. That not only more deeply cleanses it from your reality, it also makes you a compassionate being that is radiating that compassion into the very concept that others believe in and identify themselves and define themselves by, which causes their suffering. So this is a helpful practice if we desire to create freedom in heaven on earth, to be able to cleanse this energy pattern, not just for ourselves, but for the collective, for all of mankind. And that is what these two intentions do. We move now to forgiveness. When we intend forgiveness, let me tell you what is not happening first, because a lot of people have a deeply confused, fearful, pain-based definition of forgiveness that does not serve them in any way, shape, or form. So here's what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not letting someone off the hook for doing something bad and wrong. Forgiveness is not taking the moral high ground because I'm better and I don't do wrong things like you. Forgiveness actually has nothing to do with righting a wrong at all. To truly forgive is to say, I forgive you completely. I surrender all judgments, all energies that I've bound up in you and your image. I return those energies back to Source, God, and oneness. Nothing bad or wrong ever happened. Experience merely is experience. I surrender all of my judgments and all of my energies tied to you, back to God, back to Source, back to oneness, and they are permanently dissolved in love. That's a little bit closer to true forgiveness. So notice now how it feels tangibly in your body to forgive yourself completely for believing I am not enough. If you will, say these words out loud. I forgive myself completely for creating and believing that I am not enough. One more time. I forgive myself completely for creating and believing that I am not enough. Brilliant. How does that feel? Probably pretty good. I'm willing to bet. And you can say as an alternative spelling, I am forgiveness. I am forgiveness for all ideas that I am not enough. What you're doing there is you're connecting to the eternal I am. I am forgiveness. And you're radiating that intent of forgiveness directly into the collective intent and energy pattern or structure of not enough. And when the higher mind, the eternal I am, is radiating compassion and forgiveness into that very idea, something beneficial happens. You just have to feel it and experience it to know. So, these 4 commands can and will completely set you free from any pattern of self-sabotage, any pattern of imposter syndrome, any pattern of fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of XYZ. Every single fear that you have in your experience boils down to something that you believe. Now, you have the ability to dissolve these belief structures the moment that you choose. There's literally nothing stopping you from doing that other than your willful choice to ignore it. But I don't think that's the choice that you came here to make. I don't think that's why you're watching this video. You don't want to ignore your beliefs, do you? Wouldn't you rather have mastery and command over them? Wouldn't it make a lot of sense to actually practice the simple, efficient method that we've outlined here and start applying it to get tangible results in your life, in your business, in your relationships? Yeah, quite possibly. Okay, well, if so, I want to invite you into the Sovereign Mind experience. This is our free school community in which I have online courses and regular trainings that give you a direct experience of using the Sovereign Mind method. Not just to liberate yourself from pain and suffering, but actually to draw you into the reality that you truly want to embody. The only thing that is stopping you from living the life of your dreams are the old ideas and stories and concepts and beliefs and identities and definitions, these old ideas that are defining you. But if you take a look at them and you go, holy shit, I'm aware of that now. I don't have to choose that anymore. Peace. Undefine, disidentify, radiate compassion, radiate forgiveness. There's a true solution. I imagine that at this point, you're tired of doing shit that doesn't work. I invite you to try some shit that actually works. Check out the link in the comment. Check out the link in the description. I love you lots. I imagine this was more beneficial for you than either you and I fully are aware of right now. And I will continue to create videos that teach you and train you in magical methods of self-development and self-advancement. God bless you. Namaste. See you again. Bye.